is so heartwarming to see all of you out here today to help us celebrate this very, very special occasion. And you'll hear more about how special this is as we go along. But we wanted to open today's dedication program with something that is very special in the African American culture. And I think it's something we can all learn from. It is a spiritual ritual called libation. And you can go home and Google it. They're starting to use it in wedding ceremonies as well as other kinds of ceremonies. But basically, it is an honoring of our ancestors and a calling on them to guide us as we move through different kinds of activities, some that are good, some that are bad, and we need those ancestors.
Andrew and Julia Maples.
Lewis and Georgia Williams.
Annie Armstead.
Susie Long.
Rosa Williams.
Lulabelle Taylor.
Robert Galloway.
Bessie Galloway.
A libation means the pouring out. Now, in the Christian tradition, the Apostle Paul talks about, I'm ready to be poured out. He's talking about a libation. That means giving up everything for the cause of Christ. But this goes back to remembering what our ancestors did back in the mother country. So it's even done today in the African American tradition for weddings. I haven't seen it done at a funeral, but I've seen it done at weddings and at the birth of a new baby.
It's an high honor to have been chosen to welcome you today on behalf of the Orange County African American Historical Society. We gather today to celebrate Juneteenth holiday, the liberation of our African ancestors here in the United States. We honor our ancestors and we celebrate them, and we aspire to tell their stories. Our theme this year is homecoming. The Orange County African American Historical Society thrives to enhance awareness of accomplishments and contributions of the African American community. Today, as we celebrate Juneteenth, we illuminate and reflect on the town of Orange's African American business and residential district. It has been a humbling experience over the past 2 years, collecting oral histories from residents past and present, and working with an outstanding team to make this project a reality. For more than 100 years, this was a segregated neighborhood of Black-owned businesses and Black families, 2 historic Black churches and schools. The Black family, the Black church, and education were central elements of post-emancipation African American life. All rose from more than 20 freedmen settlements within the county led to this area for their needed services. Many families would settle into this town and later migrate north for better jobs and opportunities, many accomplishing great things in their lives, never forgetting their roots here in Orange, returning home to overflowing crowds for homecoming at the Nazareth and Emmanuel Baptist Church's homecomings and reunions. Then there were those other families who stayed and made Orange their permanent homes. They owned and operated businesses, worked at our factories, farms, restaurants, schools, just to name a few. They were also consumers. They made this a welcoming community, and we all remember, and we are all grateful for that. This community remained vibrant until the late 1960s and early 70s, when the Route 15 bypass was routed through this community, dislocating many families. The dedication of this park today honors the contributions and sacrifices of these families and their contributions to the growth of the town of Orange, the county, and our nation. To all of you here today, we are so glad that you have taken the time out today to celebrate with us on this special day. And to all our sponsors and donors, thank you so much because you made this event possible.
It's just been an honor. It's been an honor and a privilege and a labor of love to work with the people who've been involved with creating what we are celebrating today. This was a vacant piece of land that the town agreed to lease to us, and we've made it a beautiful spot in this part of Orange. And after a little while, you're going to get to see these wonderful interpretive markers that we as a team have developed and researched and written. And it tells just a little bit about what went on here. And I'm not really well known for a lot of patience. Who said that? But I'm working on it, and you know, I'm sitting here going, man, you know, this took us 2 years. But people have waited decades, generations. 2 years is nothing for me. And I'm just glad that finally those who have truly been patient and persevered have this piece of accomplishment that celebrates who they are, who their ancestors were, their creativity, their entrepreneurial talents, and their resilience. We could not have brought this to fruition without Orange's Main Street program, which is called ODA Love Orange, Virginia. I hope I got that right. Anyway, and their job is to do this kind of thing, to enhance economic development through the preservation of a community's history.
Not too long ago, this small parcel of land we're standing on today was an empty gravel square sitting on the edge of the railroad tracks. But today, through a true community effort, it has evolved into a beautiful mini park that brightens this corner of our town and provides a place for reflection of the African American history in the town of Orange. When this celebration day is done and you pause to remember, don't forget to include in those thoughts the importance of community. Every single person who came today participated in the activities, planned the park, helped with financing, worked on the land use agreements, and brought this vision to life is part of this community. And you should take exceptional pride in what you have accomplished here today. It's wonderful. Community sense makes us stronger. In this case, it brought back an important part of the history of our town that now will be visually present every day for citizens and visitors to enjoy. The Town Council of Orange is happy to have this parklet as a new addition to our town. Now, if Bruce Monroe would join me at the podium, please. Bruce, I have a resolution to read to you for the African American Historical Society. Whereas the town recognizes the contributions the African American community has made to the prosperity of the town of Orange, and whereas those contributions have had economic and social benefits not only for the African American community, but for the town of Orange and all Virginians. And whereas the town of Orange recognizes the historical significance of this location as a focal point of the African American commercial and residential areas, and whereas the interpretive panels will provide a background for reflection and appreciation for the significance of the historical impacts, and now therefore be it resolved that the Town Council of the Town of Orange appreciates the importance of a place to reflect and celebrate the contributions of the African American community and dedicates this plot of land for a memorial park. And therefore, be it further resolved this 16th day of May 2022 that the Town Council of the Town of Orange commends the volunteers, community leaders, and residents involved in the creation of this park for their participation and recognizes the Orange County African American Historical Society for their contributions to the Town of Orange. Congratulations.
My organization manages the Main Street program here in Orange, and for those of you who are not familiar with us, the Main Street movement is the leading voice for preservation-based economic development and community revitalization across the country. We believe that everyone deserves access to a vibrant community, a place that has a thriving local economy, is rich in character, and features inviting public places that make residents and visitors alike feel that they belong. This park that we dedicate today is just such a place. Half a century ago, as others have already said, a thriving local economy of businesses owned and or operated by African Americans stood here and in the surrounding streets. And then it was gone, kind of sacrificed in the name of progress. About 2 years ago, as the COVID pandemic was beginning to take its toll on our economy, a small group of local folks got together to talk about the possibility of erecting interpretive panels that would provide additional context about the successful African American business community that once thrived here. As we talked, we decided to take a little walk around these streets. And when we came to this spot, a comment was made, "Gee, it would be a lovely location for a little park." And just like that, the idea was born. And here we are this Juneteenth, a day of celebration long awaited. So today we dedicate this revered space that commemorates the contributions of African American citizens, past, present, and future, who have made, are making, and will make to the town and to the county. From the Main Street perspective, we believe that Main Streets are for everyone. At the core of our approach to revitalization and economic vitality is a commitment to creating places that inspire shared prosperity, equal access to opportunity, and inclusive engagement. This park symbolizes that vision, and we thank you all so very much for being here to congratulate all those who've worked on this project. Thank you.
And it is truly my pleasure to be here with you celebrating today, to see this many people come together, celebrating this space, this new space, and also the legacy of the African American community here in your town. I saw something on the news this morning. It was a feature of a family, and they were asked, what does Juneteenth mean to you? And they said, it's a reflection of the past, but also acknowledging where we are today. And I think that's a big point it made me think about what we were doing here today. So on behalf of our 2,000 members at FAR, and I want to just thank you for letting us be a small part of this in partnership with the Orange County African American Historical Society and Love Orange. And we are thrilled to have been able to provide a small part of the funding for this. And also, I just want to say an acknowledgement of great job putting this together. I was here on that cold winter day for the groundbreaking, and it's not easy to put these things together, and I understand that. And you guys did a great job working together in spite of shortages with everything we have going on with the supply chain. So great job. And again, thank you for allowing us to be here, and enjoy your afternoon.
Hello, everyone. Happy Juneteenth. Amen. And happy Father's Day to all of the fathers who are celebrating this beautiful day here in Orange. My name is Abigail Spanberger, and I am proud to represent this community in Congress. I am honored to be here today to help share in this moment and to make sure the past is not just remembered but kept alive as part of this amazing community's story. Thank you to the Orange County African American Historical Society for the invitation to help dedicate this park and celebrate the heritage and contributions of Orange's African American community. I'm excited for the ribbon cutting and unveiling, and I look forward to telling all of my colleagues in Congress about the incredible work happening here in the town of Orange. You all are setting the standard. I want to thank Mr. Nelson, Reverend McIntosh, Mr. Monroe, Mayor Roby, Ms. Browning for their words of hope, power, and celebration. And thank you to the Orange County High School Marching Jazz Band for sharing your amazing talents. Last year, I was proud to vote for a bill in Congress that officially made Juneteenth a federal holiday. It is exciting to know that Juneteenth is now observed across America, from Orange County, Virginia to Orange County, California. And it's exciting that as part of that, we are making sure that Americans across the country remember this important moment in our nation's history. And this holiday is about both remembering and looking forward. As we look forward, we need to look across our communities and understand the challenges we face together. And in Congress, I remain focused on working on issues of healthcare access, equity, and civil rights. These are issues that are faced by every community across our Commonwealth, and we still have a long way to go, including when it comes to protecting the right to vote. On Juneteenth, we celebrate the moment when enslaved men and women learned of their freedom in Texas. And in that moment, they learned that they were closer to achieving the same rights as other Americans, and eventually that path would lead to the right to vote. And in Congress, I am proud to stand up against efforts to take away the right to vote from our fellow Americans, a right that was earned through generations of struggle, determination, and eventual triumph. And that right to vote is the bedrock of our democracy. Both in this Congress and in the previous Congress, I have co-sponsored and voted to pass the Voting Rights Advancement Act, named after the late John Lewis. And before he passed away, Congressman Lewis was on a call with a number of colleagues, and I was there, and people were talking about all the work ahead of us. This was in the height of the pandemic. And Congressman Lewis said, "Don't get weary, just keep working." And I'll never forget those words that he spoke, because he was a giant among men. He was an example of leadership for everyone. And I'm grateful to have served alongside of him. And I'm grateful that right here in Orange County, we see the work continuing. We see an effort to remember the community, the history, the hardship, the challenges, the vibrancy of Orange County and all of its citizens, and the effort to move forward on a path towards progress, and understanding and celebrating all who came before us as we make a stronger, brighter path for all who will come after us. The pride of this community is evident on this day. Thank you for the opportunity to share a few comments with you. I look forward to the rest of the celebration as we celebrate all the things that we achieved together. But today in Orange County, may the lives, the stories, and the legacies of the Orange County residents remembered through this park motivate and inspire the next generation of Virginians, the Virginians who will change our society and our world for the better. Thank you so very much.
I don't want you to go away and think that this was a walk in the park. No pun intended. This kind of accomplishment is long, long overdue. And it's something, if you look in your programs, in the inside cover, there's an ad for a program called Write the Record, which a lot of us have been doing for many, many years, including myself, but I never called it anything. So I gave it a title a couple years ago, and this, if you wonder about Write the Record, this is the perfect example of writing the record. We are raising the awareness. We are celebrating histories that have long been denied. We are creating this wonderful little space for reflection, and we hope to do some little programs here, like storytelling programs or musical programs, to bring people down to this area. So it takes a lot of work, and there's 3 basic principles I want you to go home with about how this comes to fruition. And I love alliteration, so they're all P's. Privilege, partnerships, and perseverance. Now, privilege, to me, privilege is an unearned asset. An unearned asset. Many people don't understand about privilege. I'm privileged because I was born with lighter skin. I'm not as privileged as my brothers because they were born as males. Okay? And then there's the privilege of health and the privilege of wealth. And it goes on and on. So you think about it. Did you earn those things, or did you simply were born into them? And the idea is, we're not fussing at anybody that's privileged, but you need to take that privilege and use it. And use it to help those who didn't have that privilege to step up. Partnerships. This park, the signs, this day could not have happened without partnerships. Partnerships with the town, partnerships with the Main Street program, partnerships with tourism. The list goes on and on and on. And that's what makes the community that Martha was talking about, is partnerships. The last P is perseverance. And in all my work, fleshing out and writing about African American history, it's the one big takeaway for me, is that as a people, the resilience and the perseverance is awesome. And it's that perseverance that overcomes those of us who don't have a lot of patience. You stay at it. So you get a roadblock here, you find a way around it. You do some problem solving. You get creative. So remember those things.
Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise, rise as the listening skies. Let it resound round as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song, hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stormy the road we trod, glitter and chastening rod, fell in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat has not our weary to the place for which our Father sighed.
Are you ready? Is all the cameras ready? Okay.
Happy Juneteenth, everybody!
Must be the Holy Ghost. 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 I can feel it